Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to this Spellbinders card making project. In this project, I just want to show you a few of the items that we're going to be using, and then we're going to go on to make a gorgeous card. So the first item that we're going to be using is the Spellbinders foundation tags. This is an ideal item for your crafty stash. You can make so many of your sentiments, accents and different embellishments using these as a basis. There's 6 dies in the packet, and I think they're an ideal addition. So we're going to be using those, and then we're going to be using a stamp set that we've used a few times before, and these are the special birthday sentiments from Spellbinders. Great to stamp with, ideal for your birthdays and special occasions. Now we're going to also use the Spellbinders. I'm going to have to read this unfortunately because I can't quite remember the full title. So it's the Shapeabilities Classic Swoosh Accents Etched dies. So it's a nice set of accents for any of your projects, ideal for scrapbooking and card making. We're going to be using this one from the set. And I will say, for these, when you die cut them, emboss them as well. If your machine needs an embossing mat, take your die through again to get the embossing detail, because they are so pretty. You'll see them when we use them. And then we're also going to use this set of dies as well. Now again, I'm going to have to read it because this one's got quite a long title, so bear with me. It is the Shapeabilities Tallulah Frill Layering Frame Small Etched Die from the Chantilly Paper Lace Collection. See, I wouldn't be able to remember all that, so we'll call it Tallulah for short. And this is such a pretty set of dies. Now today we're just going to be using the inner die, this one here. I will do a project further down the line using the outside of the die because it is just so pretty and the detail that you get with it is immense. So those are what we're going to be using. Don't worry if you didn't quite hear what I said or you didn't get it. It's all on my blog, so please check out my blog for full details, and all the links will be there and all the information. If you ever want to get in touch with me, you can contact me through my blog. I can't reply to comments on YouTube, but I do read them and I do click like. It's only because I've had an issue. So the first thing that we're going to need is our base card. And this is a 6x6 inch card, and this is how it looks on our cardometer. There we go. And that gives you a perspective at home of how the sizing looks. The cardometer is something that I've created to be able to give you an idea of the size of the card that we're using. And again, as I said, the perspective at home, so you've got a rough idea. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to score and bone fold the score, in the card. And we're going to go to the inside to decorate it first. My camera, I notice, is just panning in and out. It's just adjusting itself because as I've set up, I probably didn't give it enough time to warm up. So the first thing that we've got for the inside of our card, this is the 6x6 as we've just looked at on the cardometer, and it's an ivory card. Now what I've done is I've cut a piece of ivory cardstock that will sit inside of our card. I've cut an aperture out of it, which was actually the inner of the Tallulah die that we've just looked at. And that cut out, in return, the daisy section. So that's where the square has come from. And then I've inked the edges, and I've used spun sugar distress ink just to give it a tiny little bit of colour. So I'm going to position that inside of my card like that. There we go. And already it looks quite different. Now next we're going to be adding this little frame, and I know you're looking at it and you're thinking, how delicate is that? Well, I've got a new well, I'm saying it's new. It's new for me. I've got a new gadget, doofer, extension for my glossy accents. Now, I'll put the details on my blog of where I got it from. And what it is, it's an extra tip for the glossy accents. It's made for glossy accents. And you get the lid and the tip. And in the lid, I don't know if you can see that, there's like a pin that's attached. So when you close it up, you put the pin back in the ultra fine nib like that, she says. And doing it around the camera doesn't always work. It slides in and you fasten it up, and the pin stops the little nozzle from clogging up. Brilliant. And it's ideal for doing lots of detailed work. Now, this frame is very, very detailed, and there's not a lot of areas that you can add your adhesive. But what I have found is on the back of the flowers, and I'm just waiting for my glue to come out. There we go. On the back of the flowers, in the centre, there's the ideal place for adding just a very small dab of glue. Obviously, whatever glue you use, whether it's PVA, glossy accents, etc., you'll have your own way of adding them. I know we've looked in previous videos about adding glue to delicate areas, so there's a few different methods. So now I'm just slotting the die cut into the rectangle from where it came from, and it will fit flush into the aperture, and it'll stick nicely because we've added the glue on the back of the flowers. And I'm just going to put the lid back on my glue while we're chatting, just to save it bunging up, as glues tend to do when you leave them alone. So then the next section for our insert is the section that's been cut from the centre of the daisy panel. So I stamped on this using the birthday sentiments, and I used a red Stays On ink. And then I can slot this into the centre again, so we're keeping it all flush, and yet it just looks so pretty. And that's our insert finished. So you've still got enough room for you to and from, and a little message maybe, and it's going to match the front, but it's still so pretty. It's not just plain and boring. So now we're going to switch our attention to the outside, and I'm just going to run my bone folder along the edge again to make sure we're still keeping that crease nice and professional. And the first thing I've got is a base piece of paper, and this is from the Sweet Paris collection from Dovecraft, and I've simply cut it to fit as a layer, and we'll position it through the front of our card like that. Next, where we've used the etched dies, I've cut out 4 of the etched dies, and I've inked them using the same spun sugar the ink that we used for the centre, for the insert. And I've got these on 3D foam, and I'm just simply going to add them in the corners of the card. So we'll just add the next 2, and they're so pretty, and the embossing really stands out so well on them. So we'll try and keep them kind of in the same line, so we get a square-ish shape like so. And then the next thing I've done, just to save us a little bit of time, I cut the same frame out. Now you've seen how I glued it for the centre, and I did exactly the same just on a piece of backing paper, just to save us a little bit of time. And again, the paper is from the Sweet Paris collection. It's just a pale pink. It's got a little bit of writing on, but we're not going to see that. I just wanted the contrast behind the flowers. I've added some 3D foam on the back, and you'll see how I've positioned the foam through the centre and just across as well, so that it isn't going to bump into the panels in the corners that we've just added. So I can add that through the centre, over the top of our corners, and then I've also taken the middle section from the die, again like the inside. I've inked it around the outside, and I'm just going to slot it in to where it came from. So it's like building up your layers and inlaying them. So next I've got a piece of the paper that we used for the back, and then I've used one of our foundation dies, and I've stamped it using one of the birthday sentiments. I've got 3D foam on the back of the paper and double-sided tape on the back of the foundation tag, and I'm just going to layer them up like that, and then pop that through the centre of the daisy die like that. And then to finish it off, I've got two little pink bows. Now you could use those either this way or that way. You could use them at the corners. I'm going to use them like that and just add them. I've just got a little bit of foam on the back of them so that they'll stick. There we go. And that is our card finished. Such a pretty card. You could change the sentiment for any occasion. The inside is just as pretty as the outside and matches perfectly. So please be sure to check my blog. If you've enjoyed this video, I'm going to start asking you to share my videos, because we want to reach as many crafters as we possibly can. For anybody that's just beginning, they're ideal. For anybody that just likes watching, again, they're ideal. And for anybody who's just nosy, they're ideal. So please feel free to share. Please feel free to comment. And thank you for watching. I shall see you next time.